This video is sponsored by sellcashier.com. They compare iPhone prices on the internet and give you their instant quote and the most cash for your iPhone. Hey guys, this is Ed with Aquarium. So another year and another iPhone. So today I'll be unboxing an iPhone 8 in gold, and they do arrive in several variants. You can get a 64 versus a 256 gigabyte version, and they come in silver, gold, or space gray varieties. The 8 is marginally thicker and longer. It's the same comparison for the larger iPhones with the pluses, so I think the size difference is sort of obvious when you compare it side by side with a 7, but it should still be able to fit in any case designed for an iPhone 7. It does carry the same design theme from the iPhone 6, which was released back in 2014, but the major difference is the new glass backplate that allows for the wireless charging technology support. And having said that about the design from 2014, and Apple, I guess, they really tried to compete with the rivals on the mobile market, and those rivals are much sleeker, and so they tried to step up their game as well. And the large top and bottom bezels and also the sides make the iPhone 8 look almost retro, and not in a good way. The glass back cover is really like it's basically walking a double-edged sword, because it's less slippery in your hand, but at the same time it will very easily slide off your couch compared to a previous generation, which is a 7. And if you get one of these, you will probably want to buy a case. Now, the iPhone 8 has Apple's latest and the best processor. It's the hexa-core A11 Bionic that has the 2 high-performance cores and 4 power-efficient cores. And apparently it is the most powerful so far because it can use a combination of all 6 cores at once. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the unboxing and take a look and get our first impressions out in front of the camera. And at this point in time, I really don't need a fork to do it anymore, just because it's so easily unpackaged. I really like this new feature of these boxes. Slides right out. We're not going to look at the disclaimers as always. We will turn it on before we look at the contents of the box. And I know it's a legitimate Apple device, so it will come right on. I'm going to take off all the protective covering. So the contents of the box, we're getting the lightning cable headphones, so they do come with an adapter as well. We do have a standard wall charger, and you get your lightning cable. Standard all across the mobile devices on the market by Apple nowadays. So I'm going to quickly set it up. Alright, so now that we have it completely set up from the standpoint of being able to look at the operating system, I just want to turn up the screen brightness so you guys could see a little bit better. The clarity of the screen is absolutely amazing as always, but just want to point your attention to the actual design of the handset. Of course, it's well built as always, but if you compare it to the 7 here, we do notice that the 8 is slightly thicker, and it's just a slightly heavier device here. Part of the issue is the glass back. I mean, it looks very nice. It's not as slippery, and it won't slip out of your hand as easy as the 7 could, but you might want to consider getting a case. As soon as you set it on the couch, it'll probably slide off the couch, especially if the surfaces are not even. So that's one of the things to keep in mind. One of the things that I want to point your attention to as well is that the layout is completely identical. Again, even though it's slightly larger, we can still see the same elements embedded into the frame of this phone. So we have the stereo speakers on the bottom, along with the lightning charging port, and also the port for your lightning cable based headphones. I'm going to set that aside. There's really, I think the most notable difference is, again, the glass panel in the back, and it's colored a little bit different, and also the slightly different bezels, but again, that's expected of a new device. We do have a camera that starts right up, so that's a fairly standard thing nowadays in these new phones with super fast processors, especially this iPhone 8 with a hexa-core. And we do have our typical home button with haptic feedback, so it works very pleasantly every single device from Apple that I've touched. So they're pretty consistent how they make them, and as you can see, icons slightly move around, but this is really the feature of the iOS 11 that it comes with. We certainly can go back into the settings and take a look at the Fingerprint Id. Alright, and we're going to adjust the grip and expand the fingerprint. Excellent. And we're going to do a backup passcode of all zeros. And this is what's gonna happen. So if we ever want to unlock this, it won't do it by another finger, so it'll ask for a passcode. When I do turn off the screen, turn it back on again, it will unlock the phone. And this is how it works. It's always seamless on Apple devices. Another thing that you may remember from one of my most recent videos was the unboxing of the fake iPhone 10 before they officially came out. So just to point it out that it does have what it looks like glass back, but it has these dual cameras that the iPhone 8 never came with. So just a thing to remember when you're buying a used iPhone 8. Alright guys, so what is my conclusion? And the iPhone 8 is certainly the best iPhone released to date because it has a much better battery life, a much improved camera, and also the long-awaited wireless charging. But it's really inherently boring because if you think about the device that came out back in 2014, which was 3 years ago, which was the iPhone 6, largely it is the same, absolutely the same looking phone, except for this glass back cover, which I'm not necessarily a big fan of. So with the iPhone 10, Apple has finally broken the mold, and I think it's going to attract plenty of converts and loyalists alike. But what if you're one of those who doesn't care for the iPhone 10's design? You really don't want something that costs $1,000 or more. Then the iPhone 8 is probably a worthwhile upgrade, and only in a case if you're coming from anything older than the iPhone 7. Those who have the iPhone 7, the performance is roughly the same to regular daily users, so I'd suggest either getting the iPhone 10 or waiting for next year's lineup of devices. Alright guys, so in your comments down below, please let me know what you think about this, and honestly stick with what you've got if it's a 7 already. If you have something that's older than a 7, you got a 6S or a 6, you might really consider upgrading to this, because that will be really nice upgrade for you, and it's probably going to be worth the money. But if you have a 7, don't waste money and just wait until the 10 comes out. That's what I would personally do. And so wait until November and take a punt on the even more expensive $1,000 iPhone 10. Alright guys, if you like this video, then please hit that like button down below, and I will see you guys in my next video very soon. I wanted to tell you about sellcashier.com. So you just got your new iPhone. What will you do with your old one? You may be thinking of selling it on eBay, Craigslist, and so on, and it is definitely a hassle. Now you don't have to do that. Now you can sell it through sellcashier.com. They compare the actual prices of iPhones and give you the best price for your iPhone that you are trying to sell. And the good thing is that you are guaranteed the best rate. You also get a free shipping label. Thank you for watching, and please check out sellcashier.com.